Hey, all right, what's going on, my freaks and geeks? Welcome to the Score Roundtable podcast. I want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for coming here with us tonight, guys, on a Friday night to hear a bunch of nerds talk about a bunch of nerdy topics, man. We really appreciate all the support. So, yeah, guys, sit back, relax, and just enjoy tonight's podcast, guys. Of course, everybody from the Score Roundtable podcast, we are huge on animation, we're huge on just anything that has to deal with nerd culture, guys. So tonight, the big topic is talking about Adult Swim. We want to cover why it's so important in cartoon culture, why it's so important in adult cartoons, guys, and how it's affected us over the years, growing up as
Yes.
kids in the 90s and the early 2000s, when staying up
99,
past our
2000.
bedtimes. Yeah, man. When we first saw that Adult Swim, man, and pretty much how it affected all of us. So I want to go ahead and just jump right in.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Before we
go ahead.
start, Happy Earth Day.
We be tired,
Yes.
y'all. You
Yes.
know, we going
Yes.
we gonna do better. We did one last year, so it's cool. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
but I just want to start off by asking you guys, and I'll lead it off. What is your favorite show that came from Adult Swim? I'll go ahead and start it off. Um, my favorite show from Adult Swim, when I first started watching it, it would have to be Big O
Fair.
because I wasn't really big on anime. Like when I was, dang, Josh, how old were we when we started watching Adult Swim? I know I was like what, 14,
um,
15,
we
something like
were
that.
we were too young, that's for sure. Yeah, I think. Well, I know I was like about 6, so you were like 12 when we started.
Had to be about, yeah, it had to be about like 12. And
Yeah.
Big O was like huge, man. Because like I said, at that point, I didn't really care nothing about anime. And I think they at that time they were still showing Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network, but they didn't have.
I think it was like Tanami, right? Like it was the Tanami part of Adult Swim that was doing Dragon Ball
And
Z
they
at the
had this.
time.
Yeah, they were showing Dragon Ball Z at the time, but like
Yeah.
they weren't showing shows like the ones they had on Adult Swim were like Big O and Inuyasha. Because you
hmm
know,
Yeah,
remember?
and Gundam Wing, Cowboy Bebop,
Yes,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cause
Yeah.
those are more the like adult animes
Ronnie Kenshin.
during the
Hmm.
daytime. Yeah.
yes, for sure, for sure.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
those are like the gateway, and because people talk about when people like say the gateway to anime, like a lot of people give that crown to Toonami, but Adult Swim had just as much to do with that.
And I
You
was
know,
watching anime before Tanami. Though I knew about those shows. You had your Warner Brothers and Four Kids and all that other stuff that was doing anime like before. And that's what I got on Pokemon, Digimon, all that stuff, and Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, way earlier. Like I started watching anime before I even knew what anime was. Like I just was like, oh, this is different style animation. Don't know what it is. And then like when I got older, I was like, oh, that's anime, Western animation over here. So I thought regular cartoons were, just regular. I thought anime was just regular cartoons. I didn't really have that idea that it was anime. And then when I got older, I watched Bobo, and
oh my
and Dash
gosh,
Bell and all these other shows.
I
And I was
still can't watch that. I still
Yeah.
can't watch Bubble Bubble.
yeah. What's that show about the wrestlers? The guy with the weird I forget what show. You know what I'm talking about? The wrestling show where all he did was the show was just wrestle. The guy would just wrestle people, and that was the whole anime and whatever. I forget what it's called, but I remember catching like an episode of that, and that was hilarious. I gotta figure out what it is. Eventually, I'll find out. But he had like this weird
I'll
like
try to look
haircut
it up.
too, and he
Hmm.
was just wrestling people, and it was cool. Other than that, I guess we can consider. Well, we can't consider it anime, but like I was watching Kolyoko and all that stuff too. That came out around that time.
Yeah, if y'all consider Avatar, like if y'all give Avatar that crown of being an anime, you
You
gotta
know
give
they are.
Code Lyoko like you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Code Lyoko is an
Yeah.
anime to
Yeah,
me.
I'll put it there because I definitely fooled the fuck out of me.
Nah,
Yeah.
but like the theme song, that's one of my favorite theme songs.
Yeah, I heard it the other day, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is good. Okay, this is
The
nostalgia. This is me."
evil
See, I knew it. I
Lord,
knew it. He don't. He can't bring it up without
Code
like at
Lyoko.
least singing something. Like he does this all the time. All the
The bangers of freaking openings, like it's crazy how good open. Like Dragon Ball Z is not original, but like the one that like we remember. I forget which. It's not the child. It's not. I remember that, but it's the other one. You know what I'm talking about? Like not.
It's that dragon.
Yeah, that one is what we. Yeah, we remember that one, and that was a banger too. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a banger right there. And then freaking Big O. Did I have an opening? I don't remember. I just remember waking up and this is on.
Yeah, it had an opening.
It had an opening. The okay, so the one we're talking about, like waking up in the middle of the night. That's why Adult Swim used to kill. Like I'll wake up, and then everybody has that same experience of hearing
Big O.
Even Big O, but the ending of
I was bad as hell, and I was watching Adult Swim when I wasn't supposed to be up.
Yep.
All of us were, bro. Like, I was 6, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, because when like Adult Swim actually started, I was like, what, 10 or 11, something like that.
On there.
And I used to watch it because they used to play because they basically would get like all the shows that nobody wanted anymore, and they would just run them on Adult Swim. What was it? Home movies. Family Guy was on there for a minute.
Different lineups of cartoons, whatever. That's all I was like, I don't remember it coming there, but that's cool.
Yeah. What was the other one with the baby? Goodness gracious.
Oh, you talking about? Me and you just talked about this the other day.
We just talked about it.
The one with the baby guy. Describe it a little bit more.
Yeah,
no,
it's
what is it?
Oh my gosh. Because I love that theme song too.
Yes, bro. That show, I can't remember the freaking name.
I can't remember it to save my life either, but yeah, it was that one. Then of course you had the Oblongs.
Oh yeah, Oblongs, yeah. Yeah.
We can't forget though the show that held it down and started everything, and that was Space Ghost Coast to Coast, baby.
Yes, Space Ghost.
Because basically I got to get a little history, the rundown of it.
What's
So basically, Adult Swim, it started out with a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and they would take them and they would just parody them and make them like the most outrageous concept ever. Like they had the Birdman, made him an attorney. They had an episode where he was representing Scooby-Doo and them. And they would have like Johnny Quest and them in there sometimes. Then Space Ghost was basically like, he was basically Johnny Cochran, not Cochran, dang. What's that man's name?
Carson?
Carson, bro. I told y'all. All week, bro.
Late.
All week. I had a long week, people.
Oh man.
He was like the Johnny Carson of Adult Swim, and they mixed live action with animation. But yeah, basically that's how they started out. And they would do that. They had C-Lab 2021.
Oh,
yeah.
Which, by the way, another amazing theme song. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then they finally start. I don't think they really started getting their own original shows until like 2006, 7, or something like that.
I think so.
Maybe it was like Venture Bros and
Venture Bros is a great show. I love that show.
Until I got older.
Yeah, I didn't either. I went back and I was like, this is good.
But it's crazy, and I gotta shout out my boy, my homeboy Lux. He reminded me that Adult Swim came up with it. The whole concept came up because remember Nickelodeon at night.
Oh yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Adult Swim came, and it was like, oh, Bump Nick at Night. These shows are like way better.
Right, Nick at Night went like this immediately.
All they was doing was showing like Boy Meets World and all that
shit. Right. Nobody want to see that.
So yeah, definitely that. I gotta give him a shout out for that because he reminded me about that. I was like, dang, I forgot all about Nick at Night, but that is why Adults came. So yeah, that was cool. And what else was I gonna say? But yeah, Adult Swim. I honestly think for all of us, I think we all can agree on this is that it was one of those things where because we weren't supposed to watch it, it made it better.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. And then if you didn't watch it, your friends was gonna clown you at school because they watched it and they got to watch like all the anime.
Right.
They was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, did you see it last night?" And he was like, "Nah, man, I had to go to bed." It's like, "Oh, you suck." All that stuff.
Right.
So it was. I really appreciate Adult Swim because of the fact that now it's still here, and I think it's so cool that it lasted this long because now it's a platform for like where they can take shows like Samurai Jack and bring it back and then make it
Mm-hmm.
for us like a more adult thing and then put more adult themed shows on there. Got your if it wasn't for like the Aqua Teens and the Hill, the Squidbillies and all
Yeah.
that, we wouldn't have no Rick and Morty. We
Nope.
wouldn't have got the Boondocks on there. We wouldn't have got like these crazy like live action shows and all that. Like
Yeah.
it was some shows that had to pave the way for that stuff because
It really, yeah.
It really did.
sit down and watch Adult Swim, it's freaking outrageous.
And I love it that the thing that, and you made a great point with that, Marcus. Me and Josh will talk about it all the time. Because if not anybody knows me, they know like I'm a comedy buff. I love like comedy history and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just love how Adult Swim was a platform for outsider comedians, and they made them household names like guys like Eric Andre and Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
Guys like that, and it gave them a platform to do their thing, and then turn. A lot of people don't realize it, but like guys like Tim and Eric, they're like the godfather of memes. You know what I'm saying? Like they were doing crazy random stuff before we even had a word for it.
Yeah.
Like they started it. So it's just crazy to me how stuff like that, when it started out, it was so outsider and so really punk rock. So nowadays, you become like a staple. Everybody knows what Adult Swim is. Adult Swim is trending. But I remember back in the day when parents used to write letters.
It was to the point where you literally had to sneak and watch it like you was watching HBO after dark or something.
Yes.
That's how bad it had got. That's the magnitude of what it was. And it was like if you heard your mom walking by, you was like, and cut it off real quick.
Turn it to Nick and Night.
Yes, right.
And another thing, like about like them not wanting kids to watch it, I think they also started. I don't know, but I think they started producing like more crazy, oblong, more scary shows to get kids to stop watching it. Like Xavier Renegade Angel, like that show like gave me nightmares, bro.
Which, by the way, is a hilarious show. Like Xavier Renegade. For all of our viewers and listeners, if you want to just see some stupid mess, no, it's like non-objective comedy. It's just so dumb. It has no reason. It's all on YouTube. Just watch it.
I just want to say this too. So I'm finna see how much of Adult Swim buffs y'all are.
Oh no, you're gonna test
y'all
us.
Tell me what show always came on before Adult Swim to end the whole Cartoon Network run. What cartoon it was?
Yeah. Right. I agree with that. Yeah.
Said it was
King of the Hill. Yeah, I go.
It was something before that. It was part of the like lineup with the cartoon.
It was part of the Cartoon Network line.
Yeah, what was it? What was it?
If it wasn't Tsunami on that day, it was a cartoon that ended right before it.
What was it?
Was it
When I say it, y'all gonna be mad at y'all.
We're gonna be mad about it.
I think it was Total Drama Island, right?
Nope.
No. That was before it. Yeah, that was before it. Yeah.
Chad grabbing in the air.
He's trying to
trying to look in the air. It ain't in the air, bro.
I'm trying to find it. I can't.
Yeah.
When Adult Swim was like in the early runs, Courage was like one of the last shows of the day that would come on because Courage was like it thread that line of like adult and children content. So it was like they used to play it later on in the day. Chicken, Dexter's Lab, all that stuff. And then Courage would like come on probably like what, 7 or something like that.
I'm about to say 7, 8 around that time because it goes from around 9.
They would play that, and then that would be like the end of the day for like everything for the daytime slots. And then you get, like y'all said, King of the Hill, and then everything else will fall into place like that.
Yeah.
Y'all don't remember that. Y'all didn't remember that?
I Because the Courage thing is like I wouldn't have thought of Courage. Because I'm thinking of like I don't know. I'm thinking of like different shows that have came out after that, but
yeah, because Courage was out like from the mid-90s all the way up until like the
yeah,
2000s.
yeah, I agree.
And if
Yeah,
y'all remember, it never came on in the daytime. It
yeah,
was always on at night. It never came on in the day. So that was
yeah. Because they already knew they had to set the scene for that creepy, scary ass shit.
Oh,
Because Courage the Cowardly Dog is nightmare fuel if you go back and watch it. Like it's pretty. It's pretty. I'm feeling like, man, I gotta turn on a light in the room when they talk. What's that guy? The quack? The duck or whatever. His ass came on. I was like, yeah, I was like, hell no. Oh, with the mummy, the freaking mummy. Nah. I was like, nah. Yeah. I was like, put it back, man.
Or the episode where Courage found that laboratory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the dude that was like all chill until he got like that pill or something.
I know yeah.
I gotta ask all this now too, since we on this subject. If you could take a show from that daytime slot or a show that used to come on and bring it back for another season to air on Adult Swim, I'll say a la like just like Samurai Jack did. What show would you bring back to be on Adult Swim's like slot now with Rick and Morty and all of them?
Go ahead, do it.
First. Yeah, that's easy. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of shows. That was definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Shoot, I
so much adult comedy.
I'll put it like this. I'd do Codename Kids Next Door. Do the adult version of that would be Matt. Yes. Woo! That would be so freaking good. Oh,
that would be good. Actually, Demetrius, that would be
crazy.
Like I really would like to see an adult regular show because it wanted to be an adult show.
No, that show is literally regular show, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually like real people. Yeah,
I watched it the other day. That mess had me on the floor, man. So,
yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
No, I'm telling you, it's literally regular show. It's crazy.
Give me Dexter's Lab, right?
All right, I'm agreeing. I'm already agreeing.
On Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
But age him up some. And then have like little episodes where they like integrate Major Glory and all them in there.
I'm about to bring it up. There you go.
Major Glory and the Super Friends on Adults. And then you can even like cross over sometimes and like have Rick and Morty and Dexter have a crossover.
That would be crazy.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That'd be, bro. Like,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Come on, man. Hey, gotta put it out there in the universe, bro.
I'll put it out there because I want to see it. I want to see all the things we can come with.
I definitely like that Billy and Mandy though one.
I agree.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be too much of a departure from what they already do. Just like we
I know what I want to see. I got another one, the opposite, the other show, the bear in the fucking brain. I want to see an adult show. I want to see an adult version of that. Yeah, I want to see an Adult Swim. I want to see a more mature version of that. Yeah. I'm gonna take yours and add a little extra to it.
No, that would be cool. No, that would be dope too. That pretty much, that whole lineup. That because I think it's called Hector con Carne or something like that. Whole lineup, Billy and Mandy, and that show would be great. Like I said, it's not too much of a departure because they already pretty much do kind of creepy ass comedy. Anyway.
Yeah, they do.
They do,
for some of them episodes, I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, especially like the opening when like Mandy would do some creepy mess at the beginning of the show. At night, that mess would creep me out. Like for real.
Nah, the funny thing to me was like when Billy and the spider son. That shit will be funny. Bro. That shit will be funny on Adult Swim. I'll be dead. He's like, I want you dead. And I was like,
why won't you love me? That must be killing me, bro.
Every time, man. Every freaking time. Never gets old.
Not at all. The one thing I wish, like, Adult Swim, because they do it already, like, I wish they would have committed more parodies of those old Hanna-Barbera. Like, because the one they did with Yogi Bear was, like, crazy.
Oh, yes, bro.
That was
Yes.
insane. I'm like, if they did something like that with the
The
Flintstones or
Flintstones
something,
or the Jetsons, yeah, that'd
that
be
would have
good.
been
Mhm.
insane.
Like Hong Kong Fooey meets the Flintstones or some shit.
Yeah, that mess would have been crazy. There's just so many like different, just like crazy shows, man, on Adult Swim. And it's just one of the ones that stands out to me also was like Moral Oral, man, because I was watching that. Remember I told you I was on the
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah.
like
But that
that
show is funny, bro.
crap.
That show was
Cause
hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny, and it's like the thing that kills me that people like how they think about cartoons is just a child's like platform. Like it's really not. You can make it whatever you want it to be,
I
and I
agree.
think
Yeah.
it and I think it leads into really endless possibilities of storytelling if you just use animation as your vehicles. And that's why I love Adult Swim so much because they weren't afraid to take it there with a lot of their animated shows.
Man, at
Like,
all, bro.
And also, they gave a lot of animes that I feel like weren't going to be on Kids WB, or they got that weird, goofy, like kid treatment. Like One Piece got that weird kid, Forge Kids like treatment where it was like, yeah, we don't do
yeah,
smoking cigarette. They don't do big beer. They drink root beer and all this stuff. And I'm glad they like gave like shows like Naruto and obviously
yeah.
One Piece, and Bleach is a very fucking mature fucking show compared to the other two. And it wouldn't have worked on like those like kid driven channels. But it worked perfectly on Adult Swim. So I'm glad that they gave those things like that a chance. And that's a good example of what your point the amount of storytelling. Look at anime and look how what it does. They can tell all these. Like Fullmetal Alchemist is a dark fucking story. It really is.
Yeah.
It is. But
It's
through
dark as
anime,
hell,
they make it work, and it kind of add these light elements to it, so it's not too dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can have it work, and you can gear it to anybody. You just gotta
So,
understand the medium.
so do
Exactly.
y'all two things? First, moral oral. Funny story about that. My grandmother would not let us watch that because she said it was blasphemous.
I mean I understand.
And it was so funny because just to mess with her, I would turn it on so she could get upset. I'm I'm so sorry, Grandma. I apologize for that. I did it on purpose.
Chaotic
I
evil.
was a terrible grandchild.
But the
But
funny thing is, the creators did that on purpose because it's a parody of Davy and Goliath.
bruh,
Like
bruh,
that's literally a church program.
I said, bruh, I feel so bad. But another
Yeah.
thing too is, do y'all remember the original? You know how like Adult Swim now, when it goes on a commercial, it'll have those little things like it'll be like a quote, or
Hmm.
it might be like some music, or it might be like Rick and Morty doing something, and it might be some
Mhm.
artwork. Do y'all
Yeah. The
remember the
bumps. Yeah.
I know what you
original
about to say.
commercial breaks that they used and what they used to show? Do y'all remember it?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know Chad
I
does.
don't. Nah, I can't say I do.
Okay, the
I
original
think
one used to
yeah.
be. It was almost like they was at an old folks' place,
Yep.
and
Oh
it'll
yeah.
either be like in a swimming
Yeah.
pool or they'll be
Yeah.
like
Yep.
at the
Mm-hmm.
park, and then it'll show them doing something, and then the Adult Swim like logo will pop up somewhere.
Yep.
And bruh, I used to think that was so cool because it was like, yeah, it's really for we're calling it Adult Swim, so we're gonna show old people. You know what it's supposed to be for.
I
You
think I
know
do
it.
remember that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
I think I
that. I
do
remember
remember
now
that.
that
bruh.
you mentioned it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
that's when you really been with it for a long time and you really
Oh
been
yeah.
watching it since it came out. Because if you can remember that, then you a
Hmm.
real OG like Adult Swim like fan. But speaking of OG and Moral Oral, how could we not talk about the one show that has been running strong on Adult Swim for years, and the damn show is only like 15 minutes long? And it's my show, Robot Chicken, bruh.
Yes.
Yes.
Chicken.
Robot Chicken
Robot
was
Chicken,
Uh-huh.
bruh.
oh, Robot
Every
Chicken
one
was
that
The
stands
good.
goat
out.
of Adult Swim,
Yes.
Robot Chicken. Look, I'm gonna say it like Tony Baker, Robot Chicken, man. The chicken.
Robot Chicken was It was a crazy show though. Like when you think about it, like when it first came around, they were just
made absolutely no sense.
It did not. When it first came out, it did not. But it was so like the opening, the introduction when they do the robot chicken, the scientist is doing the thing, was so grabbing that I was cool with whatever came after that. I was like, okay.
I was just fascinated at how they was getting like old toys and stuff and doing stop motion with them.
Yeah.
Like the one they did with what was it, Strawberry Short? Who was sitting there thinking about doing that, bro? It was so out.
Nah, my favorite one is the Batman giving a fuck. I love that shit.
Oh man,
that's my favorite. I play that every. I sent that to you like when it first came out. It was hilarious. He was like going to a vending machine trying to give a fuck, and like he had $1 and he was trying to play. Wait, I don't give a fuck, and I was like,
that show. How you know that show got so big and did so good? It had a Star Wars special. I want to say it did the Star Wars special before Family Guy. I don't know how right I am about that.
I think they did.
And what makes it even better, they did a Dragon Ball Z parody, and that shit is hilarious.
Oh yes,
it was crazy.
Are you talking about the Christmas one?
Yes, was it with the drama?
Yes, drama boy. Yes. Oh my God, bro. Yes, bro. Oh my goodness, man. That man,
bro.
Look,
that kills me today.
For all our viewers out there, go on YouTube and look up the Dragon Ball Z Robot Chicken episode for Christmas with Santa Claus, bro. That you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes.
You are welcome, bro. But yes, bro. I think that's one of those shows that's it still comes on now. And I'm talking about like brand new episodes.
Yeah, it still does it.
Reruns or nothing. It's like brand new episodes, bro.
Yeah, so, and also you gonna say?
No, I was just saying. So you definitely got to give like give it its flowers, bro. You definitely have.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing like I like about the new skits that they have on there is that they use like modern action figures. Like they use Marvel Legends on there.
Yeah, they use Marvel
and like figure arts too.
And that makes it. I think another one of the other early examples. I think Kablam used to use action figures too.
Yes,
remember that?
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bro, I'm old school, man. I'm old school. You already know.
Come on, man.
But that's what makes shows like that cool, because a lot of stop motion shows and movies and things like that, they use plasticine
puppets.
Yeah.
They taking the
straight
action figures, putting the little clay mouths on there and stuff.
Doing the animation.
And it works, bro. They don't have no big elaborate sets that they build. It be like some cardboard sometimes streets.
Right.
Like, bro, do y'all remember the Super Mario one?
Yes, I was gonna think that for a second. That was hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because that was a Super Mario GTA, right? Super Mario GTA. Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, look, we can have a whole podcast about Robot Chicken, bro. Like,
just alone. And can we talk about Aqua Teen Hunger Force, man?
Yes, we can.
What's a clutch of a show? Like, if Robot Chicken's a clutch, that show is definitely a clutch.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right up there. Yeah. Like they right here, man. They right.
But that show was one of the funniest, one of my funniest and favorite characters, but it's such a stupid character.
He was so stupid. And I couldn't stand Shake, because Shake swore he just knew how to do everything.
Shake was a creep, bro.
Straight creep, bro.
And Firewalk would always be like, bro, don't do that. He would be the voice where he's like, don't even do that. You ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna work out for you. And he would still do it anyway.
Bro, my thing is Carl.
No, I was gonna say I met the dude who does the voice. So he's always
I think we was at the same convention.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah.
He's always at one time.
And tell me why Carl is just a whole vibe, like.
Yeah,
that's weird.
He's playing like 30 years, man.
It's like I don't know why he didn't move already. Like I would have moved immediately as I saw an animate box of fries
and a talking Shake and a piece of meat. Like, bro,
my boy just wanted to relax and they just never let him have it. You always trying to just chill out and. Go ahead. Oh no.
Fry Lock, Meat Wide, and Shake are like animated and they move fluent. But every like real person like Carl, they go like this.
They go, yeah. And then they
this, and then they hop like that, like bro.
Yeah, not like.
and then not that. But
Oh, now I was saying like Carl got like that one move, like he does that.
Right, yeah. You're
But
like,
that-
okay.
And then like if he got a phone or something in his hand, it'll go.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Not to mention the freaking invaders, man. The freaking invaders that look like freaking old.
Oh,
Space
pixel.
Catas.
They look like
Yeah, that
The
thing.
8-bit. They look
8-bit.
like an 8-bit video game. Yeah, man.
Oh man, that was a show, man. That got like a couple spin-offs, didn't it? If I remember correctly, it got a couple spin-offs. They had like
yeah,
I think they did.
Aquaman Patrol Squad.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Something
think
like
they
that.
just really stopped making new episodes for that. I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
because I think Aqua TV show was the last one.
Aqua TV.
Yeah,
show,
I think
yeah.
I think that was, bro.
They gotta bring that back because that was a great fucking show. Oh, that was a great show.
No, it was good. I just love how good does your comedic writing have to be to pull off a 15-minute episode and that crap be hilarious.
Right?
Hilarious, bro. That's
Right.
the craziest thing about me. For me with Adult Swim, bro. A lot of those shows weren't that long. Like they were really
They
short.
were no.
They were really short, bro. They were not long shows. It was, I think, because basically Adult Swim was just supposed to be on for what, like 9 to 1 in the morning or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't on that long. It was just that short little time slot. But
now it don't go off till like 6 in the morning.
man, no facts, bro. Facts. I be going to work and King of the Hill still be on. Man. Baby Blues.
Ah, there it
Baby
is.
Blues. Blues was like early on because Baby Blues was another one of those shows where they got canceled and it got sent. They picked it up to just, and that's the cool thing about Adult Swim too. A lot of them shows that got canceled because they went to Adult Swim, it gave it like a second life. Like Family Guy can thank Adult Swim for it to get.
I agree.
It was canceled. Nobody was watching it. They put it on Adult Swim. People was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then Fox brought it back. What's another show that gave life to? Because I think King of the Hill was on like a major network, and then they stopped playing it. And then remember it came back for a season on the network, and then it went back. Honestly, like shows like Bob's Burgers and all that, I wouldn't have known about those shows if it wasn't for like Adult Swim. So,
and Bob's Burgers is a good freaking show. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
And like now they show Futurama on that. So it's I love Adult Swim because it's almost a place where like shows like Futurama or Bob's Burgers, like even if they stop showing them, it's a place they can go to keep it alive and keep that nostalgia of it, like for people like us who enjoy them. Like I think that's cool. So Adult Swim is very important in adult animation.
It's just it's important for art, period. It's just a huge melting pot of like creativity. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. And speaking of creativity, y'all remember Off the Air? That was a crazy show. It wasn't that long ago, but it didn't really, I don't think they make any more episodes.
No, it didn't.
Think they do.
It didn't stick, but it was just like a hub for like indie artists, indie animators to just. I think it was the premise of the show for any or viewers and listeners that haven't seen it. I think you can go on YouTube and watch it. Basically, each show would have a theme. Like a theme might be nightmares, and the show would basically be like 5 or 6 different artists, and each of them would have a time slot to do whatever kind of visual representation of their art that it was going to be, whether it was like a short film or stop motion animation or some kind of computer animation or anything like that. It was just literally a place for indie artists to do their thing. Really cool show. Like I used to fuck with it heavy. It was super dope.
Do y'all remember the show Super Joe? Ridiculous show that is, like that show is like fucking
masterpiece.
It is. My God. When I thought about Super Joe, I was like, what is this? And like, why have I never known about it? Like this is
China, Illinois too.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Masterpiece.
Yeah.
The Mike Tyson show. Masterpiece.
Yes,
yeah.
the Mike Tyson.
I need another
yes.
season right
I need a
now.
Mike Tyson mysteries. Like,
Like,
yes, I need a
man.
whole other season, man. Like that mess was crazy.
Because what's his name was a whole fool. I forget. The animal. What's his?
Yeah, he's
Pigeon.
talking about
Yeah,
Pigeon.
Pigeon.
Pigeon's a whole fool.
R.I.P. to Norm
Yeah.
Donald, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Norm.
R.I.P.
He's had me cracking up as that pigeon, bro.
That Pigeon's hilarious, man. Oh my god.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Did any of y'all watch Heart She Holler? Like any of y'all watch that?
I always thought that show was stupid. Like, that's the one show I couldn't get. That I would turn it every time Part She Holler came on. That was the dumbest show. Like no respect, no disrespect to Patton Oswalt because I love him as a comedian, but gosh, Heart She Holler was sucked. Like it was. Did you actually like that?
Yeah.
Ah, dang.
I like that show, bro.
Yeah, I actually never watched. I never actually got into it either.
No, Heart She Holler was like.
Yeah, I did not like that show,
bro.
Yeah. That was at a time when they were putting a whole lot of live action shows.
Yeah, because I think that was during that time when Boondocks stopped airing.
Yeah.
They didn't play as many animes. I think a lot of shows had moved back to the main networks, and then a lot of shows got canceled. So you right, they was using like a lot of live action. Like they had Loiter Squad. They had that show. What's the one with the people?
They had another hospital show.
That hospital with the clown.
Yep, that was my shit. I love that.
John C. Reilly. That one. Yeah. What was the other? What's the one with the people that look like they from hell or something? What's the name of that show?
Man, yes, that was such a good show.
Your pretty face.
Your pretty
face.
You
guys remember that metal show, that Hecka metal show that all we did like
Metalocalypse?
Yes. Oh man, that was a good show. Yes, I love that show.
Yes, and the music is legit.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Like shout out to Brendan Small. Gosh.
Did y'all actually ever watch Saul of the Moment? Because like I see the show in
I
like
love
rose tinted
Saul of the
glasses
Moment.
because of the opening theme. Because the opening theme is just so good.
I used to love Saul of the Moment. Like Saul of the Moment, and that was like one of the, and that's another thing Adult Swim used to do. They would take like these weird art pop British shows and put them on. Like they really did, because like Saul of the Moment was one of them, and then they had another show called The Mighty Boosh, and both of those shows aired in Britain, and they were like these weird off-putting shows, but they were just so bizarre. And at that time, they had brought back Pee Wee's Playhouse and started putting it on Adult Swim as well.
I totally forgot about that.
So I'm telling you, it's good. So for all of our viewers and listeners, I'm telling you, those shows look really weird, but they're amazing and hilarious. So if you get the chance, and plus, if any of our viewers and listeners watch the Great British Bake Off, one of the main judge from that show was the main character from The Mighty Boosh. So
he sure was.
That's him.
I didn't even catch on to that. That's crazy.
So yeah, man, definitely check out The Mighty Boosh and Saul of the Moment.
And anything that we've said during this podcast, like any of the shows we've mentioned, like they're all good shows.
Yeah, check out all of it, man, for sure. Does anybody have any closing thoughts about anything before?
Adult Swim was a great thing, and I hope it continues until.
Because I'm trying to get me a show on that.
Try to figure that out,
right? Imagine that though. Imagine if like we were the new Space Coast to Coast, bro.
Dude, that'd be sick. Man, put us on there, man.
That would be full circle.
If you want to do that at Adult Swim, we ain't gonna turn it down.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah,
that's another one.
It's a job.
It's a job.
Do y'all trying to remember, what was it? Do y'all remember like those like really weird? There's that one thing that was like, it was like this interactive late night Adult Swim show. It was like a fish tank. It was like,
think
yeah,
I
and like
remember
you would
that.
call into the place. There was like, it was like a fish tank, and it was like a podcast.
Josh, what you was watching, bro?
It was an Adult Swim thing. And
Tell
like
us.
these two dudes were like, yeah, okay, we got another caller, and it's like in a fish tank.
This is
Oh,
not.
what?
This is
I
not
don't know
me.
what.
Josh, what do you do? What kind of things are you into that we can get on that level with you? Because I don't know what that is.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what, guys? This could be another one of those like iceberg deep dives where we just ask the viewers if they remember when did this come out, Joshua? Do you remember the year that you
Like,
watched this?
I don't, but it was like a fish tank, and it was like a goldfish in the back, and it was these
Well,
two guys that
and
just
it was a
talked.
podcast.
Yeah, it was a podcast, but it was interactive, and like you can play like this weird game with like coins in the fish tank, but it was
Bro,
like
what?
digital though.
So
Yeah.
we have
Fish Finner Live. That's what it says.
that's what.
Fish,
Oh, what's the thing?
Fish Finner Live.
Yeah, Fish
Yeah.
Center, yeah, Fish
Fish Finner
Center.
Live.
Yeah,
Yep,
Fish
found
Center.
it. Never seen it, but
I don't even remember
Bro,
that.
like that I
oh
don't
my
know.
god,
I
that
don't know
looks
why I
so
watched
ridiculous.
it.
I might have to watch it. They have an eel with a crown, a king crown on it. I have to know why he has a king crown.
Yeah, and the two guys
Hmm.
basically have these two avatars that they use. Like one has this weird thing, and the other guy has like this eel with a crown.
Yeah, I gotta see where that
Yeah.
goes. Okay, I'm gonna pin that right now.
Yeah, I gotta check that out again. And it was another one. I don't think about it. Do y'all remember this other weird thing? The Adult Swim infomercials, like the Book of Christ and
The
Too
Book
Many
of
Cooks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Too Many Cooks was my whole vibe. I love it.
I swear,
Joshua, tell them how many times I done seen Too Many Cooks. Bro, I played that
bro.
thing over
We
and over.
replayed that video
Oh my god.
about 100 times. We actually remembered the song to the stupid infomercial.
I know I do. Yeah. Nah. Whoever, like I said, the Adult Swim man is just a huge like melting pot of artistic genius, man. It really is. Cause the stuff
Yeah.
at first glance it seems so stupid and random, but when you look at it and just take the time, even like the thing like your hole, that little
Yeah,
hole
your whole
stupid infomercial thing. It's so pointless. And if somebody actually sat down and wrote this, and it plays out like an actual 2-hour infomercial of them trying to sell you something, but it's a gag. Like it's not real.
Yeah.
So it's just
For
like
real, bro.
so for somebody to take the time and do that, it's just like, and that's the joke. It's whoa, like that is, it's just dope, man. It's just really really
Mhm.
cool. That's why I
Wow.
mess with Adult Swim a long way.
Oh, yeah,
Nah,
definitely.
For real, man.
So how about you, Marcus? Any like
Closing.
lingering thoughts in closing?
I will say this: as far as like cartoons and networks that kind of like really stayed strong, and the one that probably shaped like me creatively the most would probably be just Cartoon Network and Adult Swim as a whole.
Yep,
Because
agreed.
they weren't afraid to try new things and experiment with stuff and even cross some lines, even with their daytime shows. And the fact that they was like, yo, why don't we just dedicate a whole like time slot to adult teenage entertainment? Because it really was for teenagers too. It was like that teenage adults. And I thought that was cool because it's almost like you growing up with the network because they know, okay, our viewers are getting older now. They're not gonna want to. They're gonna want to watch Ed and Eddie, but they're not gonna want to watch Ed and Eddie all the way to 10 o'clock at night. They're gonna want something different that's relating to them as they go through this change, coming from 12-year-old to going to 15 in a few more years. You know what I'm saying? I think it was cool that they did that. And I think it was cool that they accepted a lot of these shows that wouldn't get played on ABC, on Fox,
Yeah.
on Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, because they were adult shows. And it's cool because at that time you didn't have streaming services, you didn't have YouTube. You had YouTube, but it wasn't like it was now where you could have, shows on. You could give a show like Boondocks a chance. And that gave that a whole fan base. You gave a show like Rick and Morty, which started on YouTube. as a parody. It's a whole thing now. It gave those it broke down those barriers to where we can now have, if you notice on these streaming services, shows like Bob's Burgers and
Polar Opposites
to be on a major network. Because at first it was just The Simpsons. You know,
Yeah.
it was like the typical adult animation.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was for us. It felt like it was for like grown-ups a lot of the times. Because half the times you'll be like, what's going on? And it's crazy because even now with streaming services, you get stuff like Adventure Time. That was a show that came on Cartoon Network, but it's almost like it cheated because it kind of squeezed into that Adult Swim slot, but it didn't, gave it another life. And now you see like it has spin-off shows. And then it's almost one of those things that if you didn't have it, like what would that kind of genre be like now, that art form? So it's cool that we have it. It definitely helped me creatively, like it helped me switch my creative mind to that next level of what I could do and what I found my niche. And it's like, oh, so I can do this and I can make it like this and bring it to this. It opened up the door for a lot of like creators that
show the potential of what animation could do, what you can tell and what you can do and how you can make things happen. And it gave way, like you said, to a lot of shows that we know now.
And like y'all said, as far as like anime, it brought anime back on them. Like it really brought, and Toonami and Adult Swim are both responsible for bringing anime into American homes at that time. A lot of I must say, Demetrius, to be honest, because you know Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, that branch is here in Georgia. Their studio is is 20
so they got
minutes away from
a lot
us.
of little black kids in the anime.
Yeah, so for us in the South, we don't have stuff to go and find like anime and stuff like that. So a lot of us didn't know what it was, but because of that outlet, we could go figure out where to get it from or where we could find it, or just even like I tell y'all all the time, that was my only doorway into anime at the time. And that's why I'm not as heavy in it, but I got a taste of it and I know what it is because of that. Yeah. So Adult Swim, basically we saying for 3 little black kids in the deep South, we thank y'all for letting us know what anime is, because we weren't looking like Demetrius.
Right?
I the South. So I ain't even gotta say much about that. Y'all know what that means when you black and you live in the South. You don't get a lot of opportunities. But nah, in all serious, but that is just crazy because stuff like that just shows you how much a little time slot like that it really shapes you and it takes you into another world. I know I went like on a whole soapbox. And then a whole monologue about Adult Swim.
Hey, we love it here.
I told Chad I wasn't gonna do this, and he tricked me, man. I knew his ass when he talking about some. So yeah, Marcus. I was like, oh, he gonna save me for last. Okay. I had to go into Denzel. I was like, okay.
Well, hey man, look. With that being said, there's no other better way to end the podcast, guys.
And if y'all want to tell us what your favorite Adult Swim shows are, what do you think they should bring to Adult Swim? They should bring anything back? No reboots. I'm talking about just finish it, because y'all gotta remember a lot of our shows from back in the day just stopped. So we need to bring some shows back.
That's true. That's so true.
So hey man, hey look, I'm trying to get in the door, y'all. If I can get in there, I'm gonna try to bring some of these shows back.
Hey man, we wishing.
No, for real, man. And like another thing, what you just said just put me in the mind of Teen Titans, bro. That's
yeah. Bring. I need my season 6, bro.
See, I don't even know why you said that.
My show I will bring to Adult Swim, Teen Titans. Because that show deserves to have a good ending to it.
Yes, it does. It really does.
That's probably the most fleshed out version of the Titans that I like. It had its like quirky moments, but that Tokyo movie should not have been the end of that series.
No.
They had too much set up. Like
Man.
Play and all, and then if you put it on Adult Swim We don't have to call Deathstroke Slade. We can call him Deathstroke.
Right? Exactly.
That's why they call him Slade, right?
Yeah.
Because Cartoon Network was worried about that name, and they didn't want kids saying Deathstroke. So if we get it back on Adult Swim, we can have Deathstroke. We can get better storylines.
Get Red X back in there.
Yes, bro. Oh man. So yes. Bring Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Turner, Warner Brother Media. If any little person ever hears this or listens to us, please bring back Teen Titans for season 6 on Adult Swim. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can leave Teen Titans Go on the floor.
We ain't even gonna get into that whole thing.
Moving on.
Right. So before we even get into any of that, I would just like to go ahead and let all of our viewers and listeners know that this has been the Square Roundtable podcast, guys. And just every other week, you can listen to us on our website, and that website is Square Roundtable Pod.fandomlim.com, and it's so nice you gotta say it twice. SquareRoundtablePod.fandomlim.com. Go ahead, Dmitri.
And if you want to catch us, if you haven't caught us on Fandom Lim, you can catch us on YouTube. And if you like the video, smack the like button. Comment on any of the shows if you've seen them, or if you want to bring back a show and onto Adult Swim, let us know what that is. Or if you just dislike our shows that we mentioned on here, like you can definitely do that down there too. We will talk to you about it. It may not go that far, but we'll talk. Hit the notification bell underneath the video so you get notified of our, the video and the future videos. Share the video because they help out a lot. And Instagram, Twitter, and that pesky Facebook group. Bring that back like they brought back all the shows that I'll swim. Okay.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna go Denzel on y'all. If y'all don't go to our pesky Facebook page, I will come find you, and I guarantee that you will be a part of our page. Come talk to us. We tired of talking to our parents, man. We tired. We need to talk to people that's like us, man.
People that's gonna like binge Fish Center, like people to watch Fish Center with, please.
Exactly. People that are gonna trash talk, definitely. But on that note, guys, I would love everybody in this wonderful podcast to introduce themselves before we head out. And of course, just like every week, I am your host, Chad Singleton.
Josh, hashtag yes, hashtag no.
I'm Morgan Freak. No, just kidding. Marcus, man.
And this has been the Score Roundtable podcast, y'all. We are out. Peace.